So let's go over the Him Cribbit trading plan for DreamWorks. DreamWorks DWA for earnings. DWA is currently trading at $16.29. Over the last 8 quarters, the stock has rallied 6.7%, sold off 6.3%, sold off 7.5%, sold off 12.2%, rallied 5.5%, up 2.4%, down 3%, and down 2.8%. If I had to make a trade just off historical movement, I would put a bearish trade on. It has sold off 5 of 8 quarters in 3 of the last 4 quarters. Let's look at the we would have to use a strangle here, so this is a good example of a strangle. So let me just bring this up real quick. The out of the money strangle is currently priced at out of the money strangle in DWA. So I have to look at the 15, 17.5 strangle in DWA. Let me bring that up real quick. So the 15 put, 17.5 call, 15 put, 17.5 call strangle in DWA. It's loading very slowly. $15 put, 17.5 call is currently priced at 45 cents. 45 cents. So the 15 put, 17 call, 15 put, 17.5 call strangle is currently priced at 45 cents. So the stock has to move $1.30 plus that 45 cents. So it has to move, it's implying it's going to move $1.75. Okay? This is a better way to look at it. I have 2 measure move targets. I have a measure move target to the downside. Downside measure move target 15 plus, sorry, 17.5, sorry, 17.5 plus that 45 cents gives me 18.05. Downside measure move target 15 minus 45 cents, 14.55. Okay. Based on the chart and the chart only, do I think the stock is going higher or lower in DWA? DreamWorks. So DreamWorks, ooh, that looks ugly. Let's look at the daily. I just might want to buy the 15 puts naked. Ooh, the stock hasn't got under 16 in forever. If it breaks, it could break it hard. Too bad there's no 16 puts. You know, the stock is implying it's going to move to 14.55. You know, as I look at it here, you know, 2 possible trades. There's really only 2 possible trade setups here. I could either buy a put spread or I could just buy puts naked. So my 2 possible trades, I could either buy the 15 puts. I'm just going to buy the 15 puts in DreamWorks. So I'm looking to buy the 15 puts in DreamWorks, just as they call it, naked, which means that's not spread it off. So I'm going to bid the 15 puts, and the stock is getting crushed here. Ooh. So I'm buying the DreamWorks 15 puts for a quarter right here. I'm buying the DreamWorks 15 puts for a quarter, and I took a tiny position. And I did get filled, I think, and I did get filled in DreamWorks. So DreamWorks, I just bought puts. Stock's getting crushed here into the earnings. So in DreamWorks, I just bought puts instead of making put spreads. So my trade is just buying the March 15 puts for 25 cents. My risk on this trade is $25 per 1 lot. My reward in theory is $1,475 in theory. My break even is $14.75. March, and my target, you know, I'd have to have really target to the downside, which would probably be around $14. So I did just get filled. I will show you guys my fill. I show every single fill in the live trading room. Winners, losers, losers, winners. I will show you everything. So let me just bring these over real quick. So DWA, I did get filled on these puts. And this stock, you know, it just feels like it could really get crushed. My position on here is on a dollar amount is tiny. On a dollar amount, it is tiny. Okay? But I'm filled in this trade. I'm filled in this trade at 25 cents, and I just wanted to show you guys my fill. So I am in DWA. DWA. So I'm in this trade in DWA. Does anybody have any questions about this? So you add the out of the money put, the out of the money call, and then you also add it to how much it would have to move. So in DWA, I can add the 15 puts to the 17.5 calls, and I would have to add it to how much the stock would need to move. I add it to how much the stock would need to move. Last trade. The last trade before the bell will ring is going to be everybody's favorite Priceline. And in Priceline, I'm going to talk about 4 ways to play instead of a specific trade. 4 ways to play Priceline for earnings. Bullish, bearish, buying movement, and selling movement. So bullish, bearish, buying movement, and selling movement. So let's talk about Priceline. I want to wipe this clean, okay? So this is Andrew Keen. So this one's a little bit different if you guys haven't seen it before. 4 ways to play Priceline, okay? So I start the beginning exactly the same. H, historical movement. How much the stock has moved historically over the last 8 quarters in Priceline. So, historically, the stock has moved on earnings. Last time, up 8.3. Then, down 5.3. Up 7. Up 8.6. Up 9.2. Down 2.8. And up 8.5. This is a great put or call fly candidate. Look at these. It's always moved around the 6 to 9%. Anytime a stock has historically moved around the same amount, that's really, really good for earnings, okay? For call or put flies. I look at the implied movement. How much of the market's implying is going to move, okay? So implied movement, 50 bones. The 675 straddle is priced at $50 or a 7.3% move, okay? Measured move targets, I'm always going to have 2 quote-unquote measured move targets. 1 to the upside and 1 to the downside. So I have an upside measure move target, and I'm going to have a downside measure move target. Downside measure move target, 675 minus that $50, 6.25. Upside measure move target, 675 plus that $50, which is 7.25. Chart. How does the chart look? Does it look bullish or bearish? If I had to make a bet, I'm a betting man, and they said, Andrew, you can only look at the chart. Is this stock going to go to 625 or 675? Which one would I bet on? Okay, the chart on the daily. Well, it got pretty high. We have these fib levels that I must have drawn before. High to low. Okay, bounced back, got it way above it. You know, I think it's going to head south. I think there's a better chance it sells off to 625. So let's go back here, and we're going to talk about 4 ways to play this. It's like choose your own adventure. So the chart, bullish, but recent sell-off. So 4 ways to play. First one is bullish. And this is a kind of a new trick I've shown for some. I haven't done this one in a while. The 4 ways to play it. One is bearish. One is buying movement. And the other one is selling movement. So very, very easily, we'll go to buying movement first. If I wanted to buy the movement, if I said, hey, you know what? This straddle's 50 bucks. I think it's going to be worth a lot more than 50 bucks. I think the stock's going to move 100 bucks. I think the stock's going to move 200 bucks. What could I do? I have very, very easy. I would buy the 675 weekly at the money straddle for 50 bucks. 50 bucks, that doesn't sound so bad. Well, when you take in consideration that it is going to be $5,000, right? So, risk $5,000 for one lot. Sounds like a lot of money. It is a lot of money. Reward is, in theory, unlimited. Unlimited reward on this trade. And I'm going to have two break-evens on this trade, 625 and 675. Number two, if I said to myself, hey, you know what? I don't think the stock is going to move 50 bucks. I think it's going to move. I'm not buying the straddle, trust me. I couldn't rationalize buying a $50 straddle. If I said to myself, hey, I don't think the stock is going to make a move that much, what could I possibly do? Well, I'd want to sell an iron condor outside of the measured move targets. So I would sell the 675, 685 call spread and the I would sell the 725, 735 call spread, but I would also sell the 625, 615 put spread. Okay, so I would sell a call spread and sell a put spread. Okay, I would make money anywhere in over $100 range on this trade. Over $100 range, I'd make money on this trade. So let me bring this up in price line, and I might actually do this one. So price line. Price line. It's loading. Like, I have so many, if you look to see how many tabs I have open on the top is how much I trade. It's not allowing me to open this. Does anybody have a price of this at all? This is going to be a problem if I can't get into my trade book. The option chain should be loading. Let me try to see if I can bring up a different one if it loads. So how much is the call and the put spread? Does anybody have a price of this? My option chain is not loading right now. So I could sell it for like 430, you're saying? All right, we'll just go with your prices. I'm not going to be able to get into this for some reason. My Interactive Brokers is acting up with me, of course, like with 4 minutes to go. Oh, now it goes. Price line. Let's go to price line. Come on. Price line on this call and put fly. Okay, we're just going to have to go with your guys' prices. So if I wanted to sell the movement, I would sell the call spread and the put spread. And I could do this for, someone said $4. This is the March 15th. So let's say it's $4.40. If it's $4.40 on this trade, my risk would be $560 per one lot. And my reward would be that $440 per one lot. If you guys want to help me with these real quick, if I was bullish, I would buy the 700, 705, 725, 750 call butterfly, always selling the measured move target. And I probably could do this for around $5, right? So on this trade, I'd be risking $500 per one lot. My reward on this trade would be $2,000 per one lot. I just made up that price, but it sounds about right. My break even is going to be $705 and $745. If I was bearish, I always want to be selling the measured move target. So if I was bearish, I would want to sell. I would want to buy the 650, 625, 600 put butterfly. And once again, I'll say for argument's sake, it's around $5. Sounds about a good price for it. On this trade, I'd be risking $500 per one lot, and my reward would be the same thing. My reward would be $2,000 per one lot, and then my break even of this trade would be $605 and $645. Okay. So I am not putting on a trade because I can't get my prices up. If I had to choose a trade, I'd probably do the Condor, Iron Condor. I'd probably do the Iron Condor. So this is my choices in Priceline. This is 4 ways to play Priceline. Buying movement, selling movement, bearish or bullish. Buying movement, selling movement, bearish and bullish. Okay, this is every way I could possibly play Priceline for earnings. This is how I personally would play it with my money if I could get to my screen. So on the call butterfly, I'd be buying the 700s, selling twice the 725s, and then buying the 750s. So on the call butterfly, buying the 700s, selling twice of the 725s to buy the 750s. 4-to-1 reward to risk setup. Number 2, buying the 650 puts, buying the 600 puts, selling twice as many 625 puts. And I just put in these prices. Number 3, buying the at the money straddle for $50, $5,000 for a one lot. I would rather not do this trade. Number 3, selling the 725, 735 call spread and selling the 625, 615 put spread. On this trade, my break even, this is an Iron Condor. My break even on this trade is going to be $619.40 and $729.40. So I have a $110 range where I make money in this trade. $110 range where I make money on this trade. This is actually going to be $620.60. So if you guys have any questions for me, we are getting into the closing bell. These are all the trades. 4 ways to play Priceline. 4 ways to play Priceline for earnings. Okay, 4 ways to play Priceline. If you guys have any questions for me, please let me know. Thanks. This is part of the trading room. If you guys want a free trial of the trading room, shoot me an email, andrew@keenonthemarket.com. Thanks, guys.